Most people don't know that AI translation tools can get every word right and still completely miss what you're actually saying. The gap isn't in the vocabulary, it's in the emotional layer underneath. We treat AI translation like it's solved. Google Translate handles 133 languages. DeepL claims human-level quality. Businesses run entire customer service operations through automated translation without a second thought. But here's what nobody talks about. A 2022 study from MIT's CSAIL lab tested professional translators against leading AI tools on 500 business emails. The AI nailed 94% of literal meaning. But when evaluators rated whether the translated message would land the same way emotionally with the recipient, AI dropped to 31% accuracy. Same words, completely different impact. The example that stuck with me: a manager in Tokyo wrote to a team in Berlin saying their project deadline had been moved up. In Japanese, the phrasing was apologetic, softening the blow. Google Translate rendered it in German as a flat directive, technically accurate, emotionally tone-deaf. The Berlin team felt blindsided and dismissed. The Tokyo manager had no idea why morale tanked. Here's why this happens. AI translation models, even the neural transformer-based ones that power GPT and DeepL, are trained on parallel corpora. Massive datasets of text in language A matched with text in language B. The model learns patterns. This phrase in English usually maps to that phrase in Spanish. It's pattern matching at scale, not meaning reconstruction. The problem is emotional tone lives in context the model can't see. A phrase like, "I think we should reconsider" in English could mean polite disagreement, sharp criticism, or genuine openness depending on who's saying it, to whom, in what situation, and what came before. The AI sees the sentence. It doesn't see the relationship history, the power dynamic, or the cultural norms around confrontation. In 2021, a researcher named Pascal Fung at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology ran an experiment. She took 200 customer service emails in English that had been flagged by human reps as tense but professional and ran them through 5 leading translation tools into Mandarin. Native Mandarin speakers then rated the translations. 68% came across as either too harsh or confusingly indirect. One email thanking a customer for their patience translated into phrasing that implied the customer had been unreasonable. The English writer had been genuinely apologetic. The Mandarin reader felt accused. Same information. Opposite emotional payload. It gets more specific when you look at what linguists call pragmatic markers, the little words and phrases that don't carry meaning themselves but shape how a sentence should be received. Words like actually, just, perhaps, I wonder if. In English, I just wanted to check in is softer than I'm checking in. That just is doing emotional work. It signals deference, lowers the stakes, makes the request feel smaller. AI tools usually drop it. Not because they don't recognize it, it's in the training data, but because there's often no direct equivalent in the target language, and the model defaults to the core semantic content. The word isn't necessary for meaning, so it gets pruned. But to a human reader, that pruning changes everything. A 2023 analysis from Stanford's NLP group tracked this across 12 language pairs. Pragmatic markers were preserved in translation only 22% of the time. When researchers asked human translators to do the same task, they preserved them 81% of the time, not by finding direct equivalence, but by restructuring the sentence to carry the same emotional weight. A Japanese phrase ending in ni suggests seeking agreement, inviting collaboration. There's no single English equivalent. A human translator might add, "Don't you think?" or "right," or restructure the sentence as a question. AI tools just drop it and move on. The information transfers, the tone doesn't. What this reveals is a deeper principle about how meaning actually works. Linguistic accuracy and human understanding aren't the same thing. We assume they overlap completely, that if the words are right, the message got through. But language operates on two layers simultaneously: the propositional content, what the sentence literally says, and the interpersonal function, what the sentence is trying to do socially. Can you pass the salt is propositionally a question about ability. Interpersonally, it's a polite request. AI nails the first layer. It stumbles on the second because that layer depends on invisible context. Who has status in this interaction? What the cultural script is for requests? What emotional temperature the conversation is already at? Think of it like music.